It is time for my outlook for silver for the next year, 2025. What factors do we have to pay attention to? What is my price target for silver for the next year? And how do I plan to play the silver sector in 2025? It was one of the best years for silver all time. Let's jump right into the chart, and you can see really good year 2024. Yes, the fall was a little rocky, but overall a really good year. And if we look at the longer term chart, it looks even better. This is since 2020, and as you can see, we clearly broke the long-term downtrend. And if we go to the monthly real quick, you see this one goes back all the way to 2011. We broke it, we formed the base, we're about to complete the base. I believe we will complete the base, which will be completed if we break this big blue support zone next year. So let's jump right into the presentation. So let's talk about silver. Why am I bullish on silver? Well, the first thing is the gold-silver ratio. It's currently at 87:1. What does that mean? That means you need 87 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. That is historically extremely high. As you can see, the historic average is 40:1. That's the historic average, not the greatest indicator. So here is the chart of the past 10 years of the gold-silver ratio. Let me walk you through this. First, let's start with the gray part on top. I made it gray because you need to cut this out. This is the COVID crash, okay? So we had the COVID crash, everybody was buying gold, and silver was obviously collapsing because nobody knew what's going to happen with the economies around the world. That's why the gold-silver ratio shot up so high. That's an outlier. We can ignore this. So if we ignore this, then we see that the gold-silver ratio in the past 10 years basically hovered around like 74:1 on the downside and about like 93:1 on the upside. And really the middle area, right? The orange area here, this is like the middle area. This is around like 79:80:1. So with 87:1, we're historically super high, but we're also very high on the average of the past 10 years. And you can see right on the right-hand side, excuse me, let me go back to that. On the right-hand side, that we are already, the gold-silver ratio is already decreasing. Right? It's already coming down, which speaks for silver. Silver obviously is a secret winner of the gold bull market. If gold goes up, silver usually goes up. And we have a phenomenon that's very important to understand. That is that gold usually goes up first and goes up stronger in the beginning of the precious metals rally, and then silver catches up, passes gold, and then just takes off like a rocket in the later part of the gold and silver precious metal bull market. The chart, we already talked about it, completion of the 13-year bottoming formation, fantastic. Again, why am I bullish on silver? The economic use of silver could increase in 2025. Silver, as you can see, about 60% of silver, if you put jewelry in it, it's actually closer to like 75%. But I leave that up to anybody, if that is industrial or investment. But 60% is used in industrial, and the most important parts obviously are medical devices, EVs, and solar. So the solar sector in the US will definitely take a hit next year. We're talking around the world. So around the world, solar is doing well. EVs are doing very well. So the silver demand could increase. Also, silver is used in the construction of nuclear reactors. That is something that you will hear when the silver rally starts to take off as one of these, like, this is why you need to own silver. It's a good story. The use of silver in nuclear reactors is minimal. This won't move the needle for silver. What really moves the needle is green energy and obviously medical devices and EVs especially. So this could happen. I think this will be a neutral factor. What will be very interesting is the next point. There were news out of Russia in December, mid of September, that the central bank is thinking about opening up a silver reserve. Now, so far, that's nothing more than rumors. But if this materializes, you know what that will do for the silver price. It'll go through the roof. Next point. Trump wants a weaker dollar. Big one, right? Weaker dollar strengthens gold, inverse relationship, and then gold, as I showed you earlier, it pulls up the silver price. If silver breaks out, it will trigger a buying panic. Investors are currently massively underinvested in silver, and you know what happens when everybody wants to run through the door. This will be especially true for the crypto bros. Silver is the commodity of the retail investor in the precious metal sector and of the crypto bros because of its high volatility and of its high and dynamic moves upwards once it gets going. And then obviously we have a new gold silver cycle, a new bull market is here. In gold, it started last year. In silver, it will start in 2025, in my opinion. So if we look at all the factors, there were not a lot of them, as you saw, that speak for silver. What could derail the silver bull market? Well, the first one is gold has a bad year. The second point is the rise of the dollar. It continues to rise. Or we have a severe economic slowdown because of the high industrial use of silver. But that's really it. So that are not a lot of factors that speak against a strong silver performance in 2025. And a lot of factors, as I showed you, that speak for a strong performance in 2025. So here are my predictions. Silver will outperform gold. The target price for silver, my first target is $40 an ounce. Now you might say, oh, that's not very spectacular. Yeah, that's about 30% from where we are now. That is a stellar year on top of 2024, and we can only imagine what that will trigger for 2026. That's a great performance. If silver hits my first target, I'll be super happy. But what could also happen in that case, especially if numerous factors that I showed you earlier become true, and that is that silver could reach $50 in 2025. I believe silver will be one of the top performers in the metal sector in 2025. So how do I plan to play the silver bull market? Again, I stress the word plan. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. And I tell you what I am planning to do. Things change. I'm not Harry Potter. I wish I was. I'm not. So I don't have a magic wand and can look into the future. Nobody can. Things change, especially with Donald Trump becoming the next president in January. In 3 weeks, the commodity market could look completely different. But as of this moment, what I'm looking at are silver long swing trades after a confirmed breakout about 32.50. Swing trades in the silver mining ETFs. And then I will continue buying stocks of selected silver companies. As you know, only juniors and advanced developers. I don't play the explorers. Their time in the sun will come. I'll be a quick second on this. I don't mind missing the first part. Quick second is good enough for me. because we're not in the time period for the explorers yet. And that's it for today's presentation and my outlook. I want to keep it short and brief because I value your time. Have a good day. Have a good New Year's, and see you in 2025.